come. So, when we are with a group of new people and some old timer, it's always good to learn new things.
Great. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Welcome. Kasturi?
Yeah, good evening. Unfortunately, I'm not being able to turn my camera on for some reason. I had to log off earlier because of that. But as the title of the meeting or the course rightly says, Journey of Self-Discovery. So yes, I'm here to rediscover, to introspect, and to learn more about myself. That is how I would like to put it across.
Very
Thank you
nice.
so much.
Welcome, Kasturi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Meghna Dharma, you can quickly introduce yourself and Meghna?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Yes,
I am Meghna here, and I'm associated with ISKCON since 2010 after my marriage. And I'm taking regular Bhagavad Gita classes, but I wanted to specially hear Prabhuji. That's why I'm here. And
there are some very experienced people in the group also.
no, Prabhuji.
I'll have to be careful while speaking.
No, there's lots to learn always. It's a learning process.
Welcome to the class.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Danvat Pranam.
Chetna, you can introduce yourself.
My name is Chidna. I want to do this class to know more about Gita. So, hello.
Yes, we heard that.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Chetna. Jivika. So there is, I think.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. So really heard a lot about the Mahabharata and seen a lot of shows and a lot of things online, but never really had the chance to read the Bhagavad Gita. Hence, thought of joining this and getting a great insight.
Great, awesome. Welcome to the course. Who's next? I cannot see the name of the person. Who's next? I think HP or something is written. So yeah, if you could, I think make it a point to write your first names at least. That'll be great. Okay, there's Vidhi. If you can quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, so just a minute, I'll turn on my camera. Hello everyone, Hare Krishna. I am from Calcutta and I belong to a family where it was a compulsion that we have to go to temple every day on Ekadashi. We used to read Bhagavad religiously, and as a child I used to listen to Bhagavad Gita a lot and even heard from my mom teaching me the verses. After I shifted here, I lost that connection. So I thought, why not start with this?
Excellent.
So yes, so Mr. Kukreja we have here among us. He is the one who pushed me to take over this course.
Very nice. Welcome to the course. Yeah, I think there are three more. There is somebody with a lot of numbers and B8, B0266. I don't know. Okay, let's go to Amit and we can come back to Priya and the last person with some numbers. Yes, Amit, if you can quickly introduce yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hare Krishna. My name is Amit Varshne. I'm from Noida, and I have been associated with yoga for the last 5 years now. While I was studying yoga, I got to know about Bhagavad Gita also and got very, very interested in it. So recently, I did a quick small course in Bhagavad Gita, and I'm very keen to understand all the aspects of it. It's really an eye opener and a kind of what do you call it, a dictionary of life. So I would love to understand this dictionary, and so that's why I am here. Thank you.
Very well put. Very interesting. So welcome, Amit, and we'll surely go through in detail and learn a lot more of this dictionary. Okay, Priya, if you can introduce yourself.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
I'm Priya Jagtani. By profession, I'm a skin esthetician, graphologist, doing Swadhyaya now, completed my yoga TTC. Nothing gave me satisfaction, nothing gave me happiness. It's only when Harsha got me introduced to Krishna consciousness. I'm thankful to her. Yeah, it gives me goosebumps talking about Bhagavad Gita, because whatever I was studying in Swadhyaya, in chakra psychology, everything is there in this. Like in Nectar of Devotion, everything. Like Swadhyaya gave me a gist. Bhagavad Gita is giving me the expansion. It's giving me everything. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful to Bhagavad Gita because my little daughter, who's 5-year-old, is learning reality, is learning the truth. So in the near future, she had a question in class. Yeah, speak about your best friend. So she said, my best friend is Krishna. So teacher said, okay, he's a nice character. So she said, no, he's not character, he's God. So that makes me happy that Lavanya is getting the right education. Thank you, Vicky, Pawan, Harsha, everyone. Yeah, that's a little about me.
Okay, Imran, if you can quickly introduce yourself, and there are 2 more introductions, and then we start the class.
Hi, my name is Imran, and well, actually, that BB206 thingy was me. I didn't really realize that I had to rename this. I was just trying to figure that out. Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing which got me into Bhagavad Gita, like I've heard it for a long time, like I've heard about the Gita and all of that. But then apart from that, there's always that curiosity, because I have this curiosity to learn about different cultures, different religions, and why do people believe in, like there might be some, if so many people are supporting a particular thing, there must be a reason. So I think what got me here is the curiosity. And the one of the reasons why I'm actually attending this session is because I met you the other day and you did seem like a knowledgeable person. And about this Gita, I mean, I'm sorry, you know what I mean. I just
Sure.
don't know how to
Okay.
put into words.
Thank you
So
so
the
much.
thing
Yeah.
is,
Sorry, go on, please. Yeah.
yeah, so the thing is, I've always heard that if you want to learn about a particular field or any particular subject, the best thing to do is ask the knowledgeable people. And that is the reason why I'm not going anywhere else. I'm coming to you because you seem like a knowledgeable person. So hope you have the food for my curiosity.
So I'm just someone who's like a parrot repeating the words of my spiritual master. So that's the qualification I have. Otherwise, I don't have enough knowledge. So thank you so much, Imran, for joining, and very warm welcome to you. We have 2 more people. One is OnePlus, and I don't know the name there. So please, if you can write your name or maybe just come on the camera and announce it. And there is Nisha Haresh Jani. So let's start with Nisha Haresh Jani, and then we'll move on to OnePlus. Yes, Nisha Mataji, if you can introduce yourself.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this is Nisha Jani, the Nistavati Yashoda Devi Dasi. I'm His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj's disciple. And I would learn every day, every speaker has new points. So that's why I have joined this today, to get new points, to learn more things. Everybody has their own realizations. So I would like to take some good points from you, because I'm also teaching. So a teacher is always the one who, if there is an input, then there's output. So, the more I learn, the more I'll be able to share with people. So that's why today I'm here with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us and providing us encouragement. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Okay, so I think did I miss out anyone? Anyone who's not been introduced, please let me know, so we can quickly do that. Otherwise, I'll start with the course. Anyone who's not
I
introduced?
have something to say. I forgot 2 points.
Okay.
That's typical, Priya.
Okay. One important thing, there's no prajalpa here, no extra gossiping, which is really nice. And
Okay.
secondly, is no ill speaking about anyone, which is really nice. So not even in front of screen and not behind. So it's a safe place.
Okay. So I think someone by the name Attitude on the screen. I think we missed out on you. If you can just introduce yourself. We are not. You're not audible. I think you're on mute.
Hello.
Yes, now we can faintly hear you.
Yeah. Hello. So this is Priyanka Mantame. I'm from Mumbai and I'm working in one of the MNC. Uh, so I am right now reading. I have started reading Bhagavad Gita. So I thought this class would help me to understand it more. So that's why I joined.
Welcome to the course. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so we'll quickly, dive into the Bhagavad Gita itself. Discover yourself is the first day. So before we move on, just some ground rules. So this is an open forum in terms of it's going to be very interactive session. I would want you guys to participate, and anytime you have any questions, and if you're on video, please raise your hand so I can easily see. Otherwise, there is a raise hand option here as well on Zoom, and my friend Partha Priya Prabhu sitting next to me, he will basically let me know that someone has a question, and then we can obviously take that. If I feel that your question is something which will be answered in the course of the presentation itself, I will ask you to wait for some time. Otherwise, I will immediately try and answer it right away. Okay. So and keep all your
I'm so
questions ready.
sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Before you could begin, can I just mention a point? Like it's just that I'm new to these things.
Sure.
So like obviously it's new to me. So if I'm actually a Muslim as well. So the thing is, if by any chance if something comes out as disrespectful due to the lack of knowledge, I do apologize in advance to
Sure.
everyone here, because obviously I have massive respect, and I would request any of you to correct me, and how can I put it better as well. Because it's like someone mentioned, it has to be a safe place for learning, and
So don't worry. I think it's not a problem. So whenever we are asking a question, you can definitely raise all sorts of questions. And like I said, if that is something which I can answer immediately, I would love to do that. If there is something which will be covered in the course of the presentation itself, or maybe day 2, day 3, because a lot of times on day 1 we get questions which are typically covered on day 2 and day 3. So I might just touch upon it and give a detailed answer on day 2 and day 3. If there is something which I'm not able to answer, I'll go back to my seniors and gurus and ask them and try and get you an answer.
thank you, means a
Is that
lot.
okay?
Thank you.
All right. So sorry. I think it's fine. So okay, I'll just quickly introduce myself. Partha was trying to introduce me. So my name is Vijay Madhav Das, and basically I'm working as a UX designer. So basically, I work as a head of UX department in VML Vinyl. That's a marketing agency, global marketing agency. And I got connected to ISKCON in the year 1998. And since then, I've been trying to practice Krishna consciousness. I got initiated in the year of 2006, where I formally, took shelter of a spiritual master within the organization of ISKCON. My Gurudev is His Holiness Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj, who's a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and he's the one who's written, the translation of Bhagavad Gita, which is called Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is world renowned and has actually changed lives of millions of people across the globe. And we'll just come to that. Okay, yeah, I'll discuss a little bit more. But just to give you a background about Srila Prabhupada, he's a personality who at the age of 70, right, when most people think of retiring, he took up on himself to go to the West and preach the message of Bhagavad Gita and Krishna to the world. So at the age of 70, he actually requested a passage to US, and he was given one by one of the charitable ladies in Mumbai. And on a cargo ship, he traveled with just 40 rupees in his pocket and 2 trunks of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in a span of next 11 years from then on, he actually traveled across the globe. He encircled the globe 14 times and wrote more than 80 volumes of books, which today have been translated into practically all major languages. and he had he had created 108 temples with about 10,000 disciples, and he was managing a worldwide movement while writing and translating, creating those 80 volumes of books. So he used to practically sleep just 2 hours a day, and all his time would go traveling, managing temples, training, his disciples who were Westerners, who knew nothing of the Indian culture, who knew nothing of, Krishna consciousness, or even heard the name of Krishna before. So that's someone who's actually living the Bhagavad Gita. So there is book Bhagavad Gita, right, which we are discussing, and then there is person Bhagavad also, which means that a person who's living by the principles of Bhagavad Gita. So let's start. Okay. So journey of self-discovery, that's our topic. So let's start with a quick story. So please bear with me if the screens are a little blurred, right? Sometimes because my internet connection is also a little back and forth. Anyways, so Washington Post, basically, they actually did a survey, or did an experiment actually, right? My screen is visible. I'm sharing my screen. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Washington Post basically did a experiment. There's a person by the name Joshua Bell. He's one of the very famous musicians, right? One of the top musicians in the world. And this was done again long ago, almost like in the year 2001, I guess. So they actually took Joshua Bell to a metro station in Washington, and there this person, he was playing, one corner. He disguised himself a little bit, and he was sitting there, and he started playing his violin, right? And he was playing one of the finest music that he had created, and for half an hour nobody even looked at him, right? Nobody looked at him, and he continued to play. And after 32 minutes, there was a small child, who dragged his mother and who stood in front of this person only for a minute, right? Only for, because again he was dragged away by his mother because she was getting late. It was a metro station, right? So close to about 40 minutes, there were few people, maybe 3-4 people listening to his music, right? Some listening for 2 minutes, going away, some others joining, right? After 45th minute, there was like a crowd of 5 to 6 people, right? And till the time he finished 1 hour, right, he had collected about $10.79 through his playing, right? Very few people came by, and somebody uh, gave some coins, etc., like that. So by this they understood that this person, he was having a concert the very next day, wherein each ticket sold out for a good $500 and $700, right? And here he was playing the most intricate pieces he had created, the masterpieces he had created, and barely people took notice, right? Some people here and there, maybe they stood for some time and they left, right? So why are we discussing this, right? Because if we do not have a moment to stop and listen, we might be missing out on something really great, right? Something we would otherwise pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for. We would just miss out. So actually life itself is created with so many such moments, and so many things are so easily available to us, but we miss out, or we don't pay attention. So in this rat race, right, where we are all running, it's very important that we stop for some time and take cognizance of what is around, listen, and then act. So it's very great that all of you guys actually fall in the category of people who stopped. Some of y'all literally stopped when we met y'all to hear what we are trying to say, and took a Bhagavad Gita also, and joined this class. So you could have very easily been somewhere else, being 25th Christmas, or close to New Year's, but you all consciously chose to be here to learn more about yourself. So that's really great. Bhagavad Gita has been available to us since like more than 5,000 years now, and it's practically available at least to all of us in India, right? Very easily, but we don't take notice so easily, right? We've been missing out on it since a very long time. Not all of y'all, but at least some of y'all. So it's great that you've taken this chance, and we are doing this course today. So on that note, all the teachings, all the entire session basically is based on the work of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, whom I just spoke about, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay. So he's the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And like I was saying, that he's one person who basically is living the Bhagavad Gita. So through his life, right, he's telling us how to actually, because see, like in law books, you have the laws, right, and then you have the case studies, right? Where was this law applied? What case, what law was used and how it was applied to that particular case. So you have these case studies, right? So as much as the law book is important, the case studies are also very, very important, because that is something which help us understand, how and where to apply those laws, right? It gives us the context in which we can put those laws. So similarly, we learn a lot from Bhagavad Gita, but we learn more how to practically apply it in our lives through such teachers who show the practical application through their life. And that is the meaning of the word Acharya, right? Acharya means one who teaches by his achar. Achar means example. So Acharya means one who teaches by his own example, right? It should not be that, oh, I'm teaching Bhagavad Gita, but I'm not following anything from Bhagavad Gita, right? We are also just trying a little bit to follow from Bhagavad Gita, but not that we are absolutely following Bhagavad Gita. But we are here simply repeating the words and teachings of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who actually practiced Bhagavad Gita to the greatest extent every day in his life, right? So basically, we'll be hearing from all the teachings by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, moving on. So before we jump into Bhagavad Gita, right? Let's understand, where Bhagavad Gita was spoken and what was the situation in which Bhagavad Gita was spoken, right? We'll also get into some more, details of, exactly how it was spoken, etc. But where and why was it spoken and what was the situation at that point in time. So where was Bhagavad Gita spoken? Anyone? You can unmute and answer. Yeah, please.
Sami. So Kurukshetra.
Kurukshetra, right. Okay, let's do this. I think Parthapriya Prabhu can, see the show of hands and he can call out who will answer. I think that'll be easier. Otherwise, people will start speaking over each other. Okay. So yes, it was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now imagine, right? Instead of having this online class, right? And typically we do this, in a classroom. This is for the first time, at least I am doing it online. So imagine we call you for this 3 days course on Bhagavad Gita on the, border of India and Pakistan, right in between the border of India and Pakistan. If we hold this class physically there, right? Would you come? So just imagine, right? The whole Kurukshetra war is about to begin, right? It's a world war. It's not a small war. It's a world war. Almost 64 crore people died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and there were people from all parts of the world, not just India, all parts of the world, right? And Krishna basically drove the chariot. Arjuna asked Krishna to drive the chariot in middle of the two armies. He wanted to see who's come here to fight and please the evil mind of Duryodhana. So Krishna, he actually took this chariot right in the middle of both the armies. And then seeing, his friends and relatives on the other side, Arjuna got bewildered. And, just before Krishna could drive the chariot in the middle of the armies, both the sides had blown the conch shell. Now, what does blowing of the conch shell indicates that yes, we are ready to start the war. So conch shells were blown from both the sides, right? Which means let's begin, let's start the war. And at such a juncture when it's about to begin, right? Krishna has taken the chariot right in the middle of the two armies, and now seeing the lamentation of Arjuna, he starts to narrate Bhagavad Gita. Or basically, actually, Arjuna, he requests Krishna, please, I am confused. You can dispel my doubts, right? Please tell me what should I do. So in reply to Arjuna's questions, Krishna is speaking, and that is recorded as Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita literally means song of God. Bhagavad means God, Gita, Geet, song, right? So song of God. So, whenever we are really stressed out, a lot of us, we turn to music, right? We listen some good music to relieve ourselves. So actually, this started here, where Arjuna was in such anxiety. So he wanted to hear, from Krishna. And Krishna, when he spoke Bhagavad Gita, it was like song, right? So basically, the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, they follow a particular meter, therefore it's almost like a song, right? So one can imagine how urgent this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is, right? How urgent and critical this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is that the world war had to wait. It had to stop. At both ends, they stood still, although they had blown the conch shells. But now, since Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, right? Arjuna is listening. Everyone else on the battlefield is also listening, right? So the world war had to stop so that the Bhagavad Gita can be good. So that's how important and urgent the message of Bhagavad Gita is, right? It's really urgent in our lives actually also, right? And we'll come to that. But yeah, I hope you understand the urgency of the message, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So coming to some, details and history of Bhagavad Gita. So anyone knows how many? I'm saying those who know, those who are like regulars, part of the ISKCON movement. So not asking them, they would obviously know. But I think let's give the chance to others. So though anyone who knows how many verses are there in Bhagavad Gita?
600.
700.
600. Who said 600? Aman.
Yeah, I said.
Okay. And 700, who said 700?
This is Mahati.
Okay, Mahati. Any other guesses?
It's over a lakh actually, I think.
Over a lakh. Okay, Praveen, you want to say? You're on mute, yeah.
Okay, 700 slokas in Gita.
700, okay.
Yeah, spoken between Arjun, Dhatra, Sanjay, and Krishna, Lord Krishna.
Very nice. So yes, there is both people who said 700. That's correct. So there are in total 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita, and it's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, and of course there is Sanjaya, who's actually the assistant of Dhritarashtra. He's also a disciple of Vyasdev. So he was blessed by Vyasdev to actually have a vision where he can see everything that is happening on the battlefield. So there is Sanjaya who's also speaking in Bhagavad Gita where he's narrating to Dhritarashtra, and he's giving him of the account of what is happening on the battlefield. And Dhritarashtra just spoke one shloka in the beginning, right? So yeah, Bhagavad Gita is basically a conversation between all of these people, but mainly between Krishna and Arjuna. Okay, so how many number of chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita? Anyone?
18.
18, yeah.
Oh, there are experts here. Yes. So there are 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, right? And interestingly, there were 18 Akshavani Sena, right? On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Akshavani is a phalanx, is a group, right? Like so many million soldiers on foot, so many lakh horses, so many thousand elephants, etc. So that would form one unit. It's called as Akshavani, right? So there were 18 such phalanxes or Akshavanis Sena on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Anyone knows the division? How many on Kaurava's side and how many on Pandava's side? Anyone?
No, no clue.
Take a guess. It's just you have to divide 18. You can take a guess.
5 and 13.
5 and 13. Close. Okay. Anyone else want to try? How many Akshavani seen on the side of the Pandavas? And yes, Shailja, you want to try?
So I can just guess that Pandavas had lesser than Kauravas for
Yes.
sure, but don't know the numbers. That I can just, because Krishna was the main thing. I know little history behind it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So there were, anyone else wants to guess? Otherwise, I'll just go out the answer. Yes, now the stalwarts can also come in since no one is answering. Yes, Nishtavati Mataji. You're on mute. You're on mute, Nishtavati Mataji. Yes.
11 from the Kaurava side and 7 from Pandavas.
Perfect. So there were 11 Akshavani Sena on the side of the Kauravas and 7 on the side of the Pandavas, right? So again, you can see how, there was clearly an imbalance. So on the side of Adharma, there were like 11 Akshavani Sena, and on the side of Pandavas, only 7. Now, anyone here who doesn't know the history, I can quickly touch upon, why they were fighting. If that is clear with everyone, then I can move on. If anyone who doesn't know why, the two sides are fighting, I can quickly touch upon it. So everyone, Imran, you also understand why the two sides were fighting? Okay, so
I heard the story a long time ago, actually. So I don't exactly remember the details, but
sure.
There were a lot of reasons for them to get into the war. So if you can just touch upon a little bit, it would be great.
So, basically, I'll again, because Mahabharata is like really huge, I can take like 10 days class on Mahabharata only. So
please do.
Summarize it very, very quickly. Okay. So basically, there were two brothers, Pandu and Dhritarashtra, right? Again, there was a history of their fathers and grandfathers as well. I won't get into that. I'll tell you very evidently where the problem started. So Pandu basically was sitting on the throne, and he had children as well. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was the eldest, right? But Pandu, he died early, at a very early age. He died. He passed away, and his children were too young. Yudhishthira Maharaj was too young. He was practically an infant at that time, and therefore he could not sit on the throne, of course. So for the time being, Dhritarashtra, who was blind, he was enthroned, right? And again, it was very, very clear that Dhritarashtra had to hand over the kingdom to Yudhishthira when he comes of age, able to rule the kingdom. And of course, all the all these princes, not princesses, but princes, they were being trained by Dronacharya to actually learn, politics, military art, etc., all of that. So they were also being given the education, and Dronacharya also tested a lot of times that who's more capable, because it's not just by birth and lineage also, but it's also by qualification that someone also becomes a king. Sometimes when the king is not qualified, he's replaced as well. It doesn't matter if he's born as a child to the previous king. So it's not just by birth, it's also by qualification. So Yudhishthira Maharaj from all angles was completely qualified and better than everyone else to rule the kingdom. So even rightfully being the son of Pandu, plus basis the qualification, on all fronts he was destined to be enthroned. But of course, Duryodhan, he was envious. He was son of Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra also never wanted anyone else but his son to be the king. So because of this, they all planned from the very childhood. They started planning, and there is character of Shakuni and so many others. They were planning to kill the Pandavas, and there were many attempts on their lives. So it's said that one can when according to scriptures, one can actually kill an atatai. Atatai means an aggressor. And scriptures describe there are 6 kind of aggressors whom you can, fight and kill. Right? What are the 6 kinds of? I don't know if I remember all 6, but yeah. So one who sets fire to your house, one who tries to poison you, one who tries to attack you with deadly weapon, one who plunders your property, one who kidnaps your wife. I'm forgetting the last one. What's the last one? Okay, maybe it'll come to me again.
So basically, it is everything that affects you directly. Like if there's any harm upon your life and the ones closest to you, you have the right to kill them. It's sort of
Yeah,
that.
you right. Like, have the right to defend, and in defense, you can, even go to a point of killing them. So these are described as aggressors. So according to Niti Shastra, this is according to Niti Shastra, you can in your self defense, fight with them and kill them as well, right? So and if you look at the life of Pandavas and Kauravas, the Kauravas, they had tried everything, all the 6 kinds of things they had tried to kill Pandavas, right? So and even after that, right? Still, the Pandavas were protected by the grace of Lord Krishna. And when it came time to give the kingdom to Yudhishthir, they challenged him for a gambling match, and they cheated, and somehow or the other they sent them to exile for a good 12 years. And the condition was on the 12th year has to be Agyatwas. Agyatwas means incognito. If you are detected, then again another cycle of 12 years. Again, the 12th year will be the Agyatwas. And if you fail again the cycle. So it was planned in such a way that, the Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra and the party, they wanted them to, be discovered all the time and just continue this forever, so that Duryodhan can be the king forever, like that. So they planned it like that. But again, they successfully completed, again a long story, they successfully completed all the 12 years, including the Agyatwas. And then when they returned, Duryodhan was still not ready to leave the throne. And he said, and there were so many meetings, and Lord Krishna himself went as a peace messenger. Imagine, Lord himself went as a peace messenger. Still, what Duryodhan said was, I would not give even that much land where you can, poke a pin, right? Even that much land I won't give without a fight, right? So it was Duryodhan who actually wanted the battle, right? He was, forcing the hand of, the Pandavas to come into the battlefield. So that's the background. Okay, coming back to the Bhagavad Gita details. So we discussed the number of chapters, number of shlokas or verses. Which literature does Bhagavad Gita appear in? Anyone? Yes. Anyone?
When you say literature, how do you mean? You mean the language-wise, dialect-wise?
No. Which book, which scripture does Bhagavad Gita appear in?
I don't remember. It's one of the Puranas.
Okay. Yes, I think Daya Murari Prabhu, you had your hand raised. You can share.
Yeah. So the literature will be Mahabharata.
Yes. So Bhagavad Gita appears in Mahabharata in the Bhishma Parva, right? So there's a section in Mahabharata called Bhishma Parva, right? In fact, Mahabharata is just a continuous history. They've been divided into different sections by great sages and acharyas to talk about a particular theme. So within the Bhishma Parva, Bhagavad Gita appears, right? And anyone knows what was the duration in which Bhagavad Gita was spoken? How much time it took? Like I said, the World War was, halted, and Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So how much time they took? You can guess, of course. Yes,
Again, I guess 45 minutes.
Let's do one by one. Mosmi, please.
Sorry. 18 days, I guess.
18 days. 18 days was
I
actually the
think.
war.
Okay.
In how much time did
I
this?
was 45. 45 minutes.
Amit, yeah, 45 minutes. Okay. Any other guesses?
I would say a day. because there's a lot of conversation happening and a lot of events happening. So I would say a day at least.
It should be, of course, there's so many 700 verses, and we almost take like a year to go through it. So obviously, when they spoke, must have taken a day. Interesting. Yes. Any other guesses?
So a few minutes maybe, because the war was stopped and they were waiting. So it would not have gone beyond few minutes.
By few minutes, you can put a number to that.
So 30 minutes?
30 minutes, okay. Any other guesses?
No, so I too remember it as 35-40 minutes, somewhere near 40-45.
Okay.
Don't remember exactly.
Yes, Daya Murari Prabhu, you have your hand raised. Please.
It's 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Okay. Yes, Nishtavati Mataji, please, you can unmute yourself, and you're on mute. If you can unmute yourself, and then
45 minutes, between 42 and 45 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay. So scriptures describe that it was the time of two muhurtas, right? Now, two muhurtas can be calculated to be anywhere between 45 minutes to 1.5 hours. So between 45 minutes to 90 minutes, anywhere in between, that is the time they took to have this conversation. Okay. So cause and relevance. Is Bhagavad Gita relevant today?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
How is it relevant? It was spoken 5,000 years ago. 5,000, almost 5,500, I guess now.
But the journey of the soul remains the same, It's the same. You take a birth and you go through the same thing, and then you leave your body, and then you take a birth again. So it is a same thing from 5,000 till date. The cycle is same.
Correct. Okay. Any other points? How is it relevant today?
Well, I would say it is relevant today in the sense because I mean, let's take a common layman example, right? So even if we sometimes we listen to stories of our grandparents, right? And they give us a lesson like, this had happened in the experience, and this such a thing had happened, and we still use it till this day, that okay, this is a learning for me. So
Learning from history.
whenever it was spoken.
Sure.
Irrespective of whenever it is spoken, if it has a lesson and something to learn, you can always inculcate in your life, no matter how long it has been.
Great. Yeah. All right. Any other pointers? Otherwise,
yeah. So as Mahabharata was a war fought on the ground, so in that context, we as human being also have this war in our mind. As Arjuna is asking all kind of questions and his doubts to Krishna, we also ask all kind of doubts and questions we have in our own mind. So going through Bhagavad Gita, it kind of answers those questions. So that way it is very much relevant.
Okay. Right. Mosmi, you want to say something?
We have a very big Bhagavad Gita in our school library where we are working. So there would be days when I would get very disturbed, and I would just go and open any page, and I would just read of what Krishna is telling Arjuna. And I don't know, somehow whatever I was disturbed about, that very page would be the page which I would open. So that was one attraction which I had, and I would find my solution in, I would just stand there, be there only for 3 to 5 minutes, actually go to the library only to read that, and then come back. So I don't know how, but there is a solution even today for everything. That's what I feel. So
very nice. Yes. Sorry. Do that. I'll be on mute. Sorry. So
I just wanted to okay. Yeah, I just wanted to appreciate the points that were coming out from each one of you. The fact that some of you have pointed out that even if it's in something that happened a long time ago in history, or we're encountering situations of difficulty, if there is a solution there, we might as well apply it in our lives. Now, there was a time once when Vijay Malapru and I were trying to give out Bhagavad Gitas, and we stopped one person and we asked him, do you want to have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita? And he was in a rush, like as we all are usually in Mumbai. And he said, no, it's okay. I have Dadi at home. And then we were like, what? He doesn't want a Bhagavad Gita because he's saying that he has a Dadi at home. So we were a little confused. He was a little confused. So it's important to understand and appreciate that something that's old, it doesn't mean that it's outdated unless we've actually understood what is there in it. And of course, Vijay is going to tell us more about it, but just wanted to share this little funny story.
Thank you for
And
that.
one more thing I wanted to add, actually.
Right. So just one quick point. I think that'll also help us understand how it's relevant. So before Bhagavad Gita was spoken, right, Arjuna was in great stress. Imagine, today if someone asks you that, oh, your family, they're actually terrorists, you have to kill them, right? And you're there right in front of them, and you have to kill them. Just imagine the amount of stress you will have, right? If you have to kill your own father, mother, your own brothers, your own grandparents, right? Just think the amount of stress Arjuna would be going through, because all his relatives were in front of him, right? So today, do we face stress? Not for the same reason, but don't we face stress in our work lives, in our, if someone's studying for their colleges, etc., right? We all go through a lot of stress, isn't it? So when Krishna was before Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was in tremendous stress, like the heights of stress we can imagine, right? And when after Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, Nashta Moha Smuti Ladva, right? Now the entire, my doubts are cleared, right? My illusion is gone, and I'm completely composed, right? So before Bhagavad Gita, he was completely in stress, so much stress, right? That his famous bow Gandiva, right? He had taken a vow: if someone asks me to give up this, or put aside my Gandiva, I will kill that person, right? And such an episode happened also, where he was ready to kill Yudhishthir Maharaj because he once by mistake had asked him to put aside his Gandiva. So for such a person like Arjuna to put aside his Gandhi was impossible, right? And he's saying, oh, my Gandhi was actually slipping from my shoulders, my hands, right? Because he was in such stressful situation, right? He was so much in stress. But after Bhagavad Gita, he was completely relieved of his stress. So that's, and I think Mosmi here, she made a very, very important point, where she was saying that even when I am in anxiety or stress, or I need, when she's disturbed, she goes and just stand and read some verses, and she feels relieved, right? So that's how we can see that how by going through Bhagavad Gita we can, one of the immediate relevant things is we are relieved of our stress, right? And we find answers, we find solutions. And Krishna is actually not just talking to Arjuna, but he's actually through Arjuna talking to us. So actually Arjuna was a very, very great devotee and friend of Krishna, right? In one sense, he was already, a highly perfected personality, right? He was a perfected being. But he was put into this illusion, right? By the arrangement of Krishna, he was put into this illusion so that Krishna can speak Bhagavad Gita for all of us. So Krishna, he picks up his own devotees, right? Through him, he basically communicates all the message, right? So that's why Bhagavad Gita was spoken, and that's why it's relevant to us even today. And like I think, I don't know, maybe someone pointed out, maybe Shelja or someone who pointed out that at the end of the day, we are still the same souls. We have to take birth, we have to die, and continue the same cycle. So no matter how advanced we may be, it's still relevant because the reality still remains the same, that we have to die, right? And Bhagavad Gita is actually giving us the information about what is beyond death, how we take birth, etc. We'll come to that. That's the first lesson we'll be discussing also. Okay, let's move on. Oh, sorry, the last point, my bad. Process of acquiring knowledge, right? So how do we learn Bhagavad Gita? This is very, very important. How do we learn Bhagavad Gita? From where should we learn Bhagavad Gita? Like, today we've announced this course and you guys are here, right? But I'm sure there are so many people teaching Bhagavad Gita, and not just Bhagavad Gita as it is, but there are more than 1,000 editions of Bhagavad Gita in market today, right? So which Bhagavad Gita to read and where to learn from? That's a big question. So okay, let's take one example. Who's studying here? Someone who's studying here? Who's a student? Anyone who's a student?
Yeah, studying MA Yoga.
A yoga student.
Okay.
Sir, everyone is a student, sir.
Okay, fair enough.
Student of life,
So
you mean?
Sorry?
Students of life.
Student of life. Wow, everyone has become philosophical here. Okay. So let's take the example of Amit. Amit, what you've done in your studies, like early education?
So I did graduation in botany, and then I did an MBA.
Okay, so you're a science graduate specialized in botany, right? So let's say, right? I don't know. I can go wrong in terms of I don't know botany field so much, right? So let's say Amit was trying to do engineering, right? It's just for the sake of simplicity, not that I'm imposing something on you, Amit. So Amit is trying to do engineering, right? And I open a college and invite Amit. Amit, please come study in my college. It's first class engineering college, right? What is the first thing Amit should check?
The credentials.
Okay. By credentials, you mean what all things would you check?
Yeah, the history of the institute, what kind of teachers are there, what kind of courses, how relevant, how good.
Okay, I tell you, there are top class teachers in my college, and there have been some good pass outs also. Then what is the first thing you need to check before checking the teachers?
So how long is that? How old is the institute?
I've just started.
Oh, you just
I would
started.
first
So
check
then
My
I
own
won't go
interest.
to.
Do I want to do engineering? What exactly is my path? What exactly
No.
is
So
my
you are decided that you've decided that you want to do engineering. You are seeking different colleges. You're seeking admission in different colleges. Now I am telling you, look, I've just opened a very fantastic college, right? Very beautiful campus. Some great teachers, right? What else is absolutely essential for you to check?
The fee structure.
The fee structure. Okay.
The founder, I mean,
The
to know
founder.
about the founder who has.
Okay, like I don't even remember the founder's name of the college when I went to. So I don't think that's really important. Something which you cannot miss.
First of all, I would check if it even exists in the first place.
No, so I can show you the structure. It's there.
I would like to check the affiliation or association with any university from where I will get the degree.
Perfect. Yes. So that's the correct answer, right? The very first thing I will check whether this college or institution is affiliated to the university or not, because it might happen that after spending 4 years, after learning some nice things, I still don't have a degree and I don't have a job. Right? So the very first thing I will check, like Praveen put, is whether the institution is affiliated to a university or not. So similarly, and engineering, or say for example botany, is just a small subject of material science. Now, when it comes to understanding spiritual subject matters, right, which is much more vast, right, which is much more detailed, so much to learn, right? So therefore, when we learn from someone, we need to first ask whether the person who's teaching or the institution where I'm going, is it really affiliated to a university or not? And in Sanskrit, university can be translated as sampradaya, right? You can make a correlation between university and sampradaya, right? So there are 4 main sampradayas, right? There is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, there is Rudra Sampradaya, there is Kumar Sampradaya, and Sri Sampradaya. I'll just explain what it means, right? So Sampradaya means universities, right, or schools. So Lord Krishna, he passed on the knowledge to Lord Shiva. That's Rudra Sampradaya. The chain started Guru Shishya Parampara, right? The spiritual master will instruct the disciple. The disciple will instruct their own disciples. They will instruct their own, and like that, the chain would continue for ages and ages, right? So
And that
that's
would
the
become a
Guru.
tradition.
Sorry.
And that would become a tradition, like parampara, like tradition kind of.
Yes. So Guru Shishya Parampara. Parampara means that becomes the tradition of passing down the knowledge without any adulteration, without anything adding of your own self. It's just like, a postman delivering the letter to you, right? When the postman picks up the letter, he doesn't do correction. अरे ये ठीक नहीं लिखा है, इसको थोड़ा change कर देना, language अच्छा नहीं है, right? Or the emotions are not coming out. Maybe I should change the love letter to something else so that the girl is like really happy, right? He doesn't do those edits, right? He will just pick up the letter from one end and deliver it as it is on the other end, correct? So that's how the guru or spiritual master becomes the transparent via media to transmit the knowledge which is directly coming from Krishna through the chain of this Guru Shishya Parampara. The same knowledge without any edits or adulteration is passed down from one guru to disciple, and then when the disciple is qualified to become a guru, he passes on to their students, like that. So like that, this parampara system has been maintained. In fact, it's mentioned in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarsho vidu sa kalena mahata yoga nashta parantapa. So Krishna is describing to Arjuna that this knowledge was first given to sun god, and it was passed down, handed down in this parampara system, guru shishya, like that. And the Raja Rishis used to learn this and then pass it down as well. But over a period of time, this chain was broken, right? Sakalena Mahata, right? Yoga Nashta Parampara. Because of the effect of time, the chain was broken after so many ages. Therefore, now I have come back to deliver the same message again and start the chain again from you. So therefore, Krishna is narrating the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna to restart the chain, right? So we acquire knowledge, not that tomorrow someone will come, oh, I have actually lived in Himalayas for 20 years. I have been doing meditation. I am a guru, right? So he'll invite, please learn from me. Right? What is the first question you should ask?
Who's your guru?
Only that?
Which parampara you belong to?
Yes. Which university are you affiliated with? Which parampara, right? And like I said, there are 4 primary paramparas, and there are many branches and offshoots from there. But the 4 main ones are Krishna, he passed on the knowledge to Brahma. So Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, right? That's one. And the Hare Krishna movement is actually part of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Then there is Rudra Sampradaya. Lord Krishna passed on the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Lord Shiva, and from him the chain has started. So that's Rudra Sampradaya. Then there is Kumar Sampradaya. Kumar Sampradaya, they are the 4 Kumaras. They are the sons of Lord Brahma. So the Lord passed on the knowledge to the 4 Kumaras as well. And from there the chain started. And then Sri Sampradaya. Sri Sampradaya starts, so Krishna passed on the knowledge to Lakshmi Devi, and from her the Sri Sampradaya started. And you will find there are people or temples etc. associated with these different 4 sampradayas all across, right? Like for example, Sri Sampradaya, you must be knowing the Tirupati temple or the Sri Rangam temple. They are part of the Sri Sampradaya. There is Pushti Margis who are part of or an offshoot of the Rudra Sampradaya. So like that, when you actually trace back the root, you'll come to these 4 main sampradayas, right? But there are so many people today in India. Anywhere you go, you talk about God. People all have their own opinion, and we'll come to discussing about God tomorrow. But yeah, so all of them they would have their opinion, right? And without any background of connection to any sampradaya, right? So therefore, no matter how long someone has been in Himalayas, or how strict a yogi someone claims himself to be, the first question before taking admission in the college is which university, right? Similarly, the first question for us is which sampradaya, right? Because any knowledge taken within these four sampradayas is authorized knowledge. I'm sure, oh, this degree is there authorized by the government. This college is authorized by the government, and therefore I can safely enter, right? You may learn something outside also, but at your own risk. You are not sure whether it's true or it's not true. Something is mixed or something is given its pure form. We don't know, right? So
Ankur, I just
therefore,
wanted to ask, this topic of sampradayas will be covered in detail later on? The
no, we are
four,
just discussing sampradaya right now.
not right now, but later on, will it be covered later on?
If you have any questions, you can ask.
No, actually, I wanted to sort of understand a bit of like how each of them is different from the other, like why they're four different, like if there's a difference between these in any sort of way.
Yeah, so I won't get into a lot of details here, but yes. So again, when these are four prominent personalities the Lord spoke to, right? So Lakshmi Devi is, the consort of the Lord, right? Lakshmi is the consort of Narayan. So obviously, Narayan would share the knowledge with Lakshmi Devi. Lord Shiva is a very great devotee and friend of the Lord, so obviously he will share. Just like, say for example, you have something and you would want to share it with your immediate friends and relatives, right? So similarly, this is the supreme science which the Lord is sharing with some of his immediate associates, and then they are sharing it ahead. So primarily there are these four, and like I said, there are many offshoots and branches from these four as well. Krishna describes dharma to sakshat bhagavad pranita, which means that the real dharma can only be given by God and no one else. Why? Because all of us, we have these four defects, right? What are the four defects we have, right? Our senses are limited. That's the number one, right? Which means what? From a distance, a mountain may appear blue to me, but as I go near, I understand it's not blue color. It's actually with green trees, with brown sand and soil, etc., right? And so much variety inside. It's not just a blue triangle shaped thing. So our senses are limited, which means that they can cheat us, right? So that's number one defect, that our senses are limited, right? Then the second one, we have a cheating propensity. So if I want to give a scripture, I will write everything that is favorable for me. People should start worshipping me, right? Or if I cannot say it directly, I'll say it indirectly, because I have this cheating propensity, so that I am benefited somehow or the other, right? So that's the second defect. The third defect is we are illusioned. Like I said, because the senses are limited, of course, there is a great chance of us being illusioned, right? Sometimes we overhear something and we understand something else, and then we fight with people, right? So illusion. And what's the fourth one? Yeah, we commit mistakes. Sorry, I forgot that. We commit mistakes. There's one mistake right here, right? So because of these four defects, right, no man can give true dharma, right? So dharma to sakshat bhagavad pranita. So it comes down from the Lord, and then it's passed down as it is, right, without any adulteration, through this chain of disciplic succession or guru parampara, right? So that's how we actually acquire knowledge, and anything outside these four sampradayas, right, it's at our own risk, right? And there are so many cheaters out there waiting for people who want to be cheated like this. So at your own risk, like that. So if we are taking knowledge in these four sampradayas, we are sure that we are being given the right thing. Okay, any other questions you had, Imran? Is it the sampradaya thing, is it sufficient
I
for now?
have a question. This is Amit. You mentioned that the knowledge was passed on to Sun God. So out of these four sampradayas, where exactly Sun God, in each of these four sampradayas, Sun God was there,
Yeah.
which chain?
So sun god basically I'm not sure which sampradaya he belongs to. He was practically given, like others were given, but do you know? Okay, so even I am not sure because I don't know of any Guru Shishya Parampara started from Sun God. Although Krishna mentions that it was given to Vivaswan, Vivaswan passed on to Manu, Manu passed on to Ikshvaku. So I'm not sure of the sampradaya where they belong to. So I'll come back to you on that. Probably I'll figure it and then probably answer this tomorrow if that's okay. But
So,
good question. Thank you for
so
asking
may
that.
I?
Yes, please.
So when we say four sampradayas, is there any difference between the way they are, the principles of Gita? Yes, it is same, but how they interpret it or how they teach, is there a difference in all those fours, or
You
they
will
follow
find
some kind?
you will find difference in a slight difference here and there in their practices, right? So the principle remains the same. The details, of course, may change here and there a little bit. The foundational principles remain the same. Is that okay? Because every acharya who comes in that line, right? Uh, Obviously, he will explain and pass on the same knowledge with the same principles. But like I said, there are case studies, right? There are case studies and realizations of different devotees. So that also gets added, and it has a particular flavor and a mood like that. So you'll find difference in moods, etc. And like that, each and every one of us, even within the same sampradaya, may have different moods, right? Someone may approach the Lord in the mood of friendship, while someone else may approach the Lord in the mood of a parent, like that. Is that okay? All right.
One thing I just
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to ask was, can I ask?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So one of the defects you mentioned that we humans have is that human beings make mistakes, right?
Right.
So just in case, like when we follow this parampara, like Guru Shishya thing,
They would have made mistakes.
there could be mistakes. Yes, I mean it's a human tendency. It may happen. I'm not saying it always happens, but it may happen.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure there must be some sort of double checking that must be happening, right? Like cross checking amongst the group, like if this is accurate or.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I almost missed that point. So very grateful for you to bring that up. So there is a triangle, right? So on one end there is Guru, right? On the other end there is Sadhu, and the third end is Shastra, right? So if there is something which you don't understand in the Guru's behavior or in his instruction, one can always check with other sadhus and with Shastra. Right? If Guru is giving you an instruction which is apparently against the Shastra, right? You can always refer back to the Shastra itself and the case studies there, or you can refer back to other sadhus, whether what Guru is saying is okay or not. Right? If Shastra is saying something which you're not able to understand and comprehend, you can always check with Guru or other sadhus. If other sadhus are saying something which you cannot understand or which is bewildering, you can always check with Guru and Shastra. So there is always this check and balance. This triangle is there where you can have this check and balance. And of course, the people who are as the prominent acharyas in the parampara who are passing out that knowledge, right? So these prominent acharyas, their lives have been exemplary in terms of following the scriptures. Like I just mentioned, Srila Prabhupada is the 26th acharya in the parampara, in the line coming from Lord Krishna. And we can see from his life how exemplary it almost is like an inhuman, right? Superhuman life he's lived, where he's just sleeping 2 hours a day, practically spending all his time serving the Lord in terms of writing books, managing temples, dealing with disciples, right? Giving lectures and classes and chanting his own, doing his own sadhana. So we can practically see they're living examples of somebody who's, following Bhagavad Gita 100%. So that's the kind of standard, right, of these personalities. So obviously and there are so many other god brothers of Srila Prabhupada also. There are so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada also, and there is this big movement wherein there are so many people. But the main acharya, like therefore he is founder acharya of ISKCON. So the main acharya, when he is writing and giving something, we can look at him how exemplary his life is, and take the teachings in the form as books, right? Does that answer your question? And of course, we have the check and balance, right?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, there are, okay, so Bhagavad Gita, basically, we just take a macro view of Bhagavad Gita. What does it really talk about? So there are 5 main subject matters of Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, just if you can keep your watch here, I need to have a time check. I don't know how long it is now. 46. Thank you. So otherwise we'll just keep discussing and go beyond 6:30 also. Sorry. Yeah. So there are 5 main subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita deals with, the topics around Jiva, and we should actually memorize this. So you can repeat after me: Jiva, which is the soul. Jiva,
Jiva,
Ishvara. Ishvara means
Ishvara,
God. Yes. Everyone can unmute and repeat. Prakriti,
Prakriti,
material nature, right? Kala,
Kala,
and
Kal,
and karma.
Karma.
Means material activities, right? So Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma. These are the 5 subject matters discussed in Bhagavad Gita. It talks about the soul, or talk about you, talks about God, talks about what is this material world, why is it created, how it functions, talks about the time factor, how it's affecting everything, and talks about the karma or the material activities and how actions and reactions work. So these are the 5 main subject matters of Bhagavad Gita. So once you complete the 3 days, or even today, if someone asks you, what did you learn in Bhagavad Gita? What does Bhagavad Gita talk about? You can quote these 5 things. It talks about Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma. Okay. And I would encourage for you guys to take a notebook and pen and note certain important things, so that you can almost memorize it, so that you can also discuss. So actually sharing whatever you learn, when you share or when you reflect and share with others, it stays in your memory for a very long time. So one key to remembering what we hear is to share. Okay. All right, moving on.
Already have.
So, like we discussed, Arjuna, when he saw all his relatives in front of him, he was so much in anxiety, right? And he said, and the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita describes that Arjuna almost gave up the thought of fighting, and he gives Krishna 5 powerful reasons not to fight, right? What are those 5 powerful reasons, right? The first one is compassion. So, there are 64 crore people assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, more than that actually. There are 5 Pandavas also. So there are so many people assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right? And all of them will die. So he was feeling compassion. So many people will die for what? Just to make the Pandavas, have a kingdom. Just so that we can enjoy royal happiness, right? So he was feeling so much compassion that so many people will be killed. Right? Very powerful reason, isn't it?
Yes.
Then he said, no enjoyment. No enjoyment means, so if I am supposed to, if after winning the war, right, I will become the king, right? But who will I enjoy the kingdom with? All the relatives and friends, they'll be killed. Who will I enjoy the kingdom with? So even if I win the kingdom, what is the point? Right? I won't be able to enjoy it. It'll be tainted with the blood of my relatives. And therefore, the third reason, sinful reaction. पाप लगेगा, इतने सारे लोगों को मारेंगे, so many people will be killed, right? So much sin, right? And the fourth reason he gives is Varna Shankara. Varna Shankara means all the Kshatriyas, all the powerful kings of the world, they had assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to fight. And all the cowards, those so-called Kshatriyas, right? They were left behind with women. and all the people who would carry out the principles of dharma, follow family traditions, etc., all of them are now on the battlefield. If all of them are killed, who will carry on the family tradition? The family tradition will be destroyed, the women will be polluted, and the progeny, right, the children who will be born will be Varna Shankara. Varna Shankara means unwanted population. Unwanted population means that they won't be you know uh, pious, they won't be moral, they won't be qualified in general, right? There will be no training, right? And just like say for example, if there is no training for someone, a child on the street, and obviously there is a good chance of them getting into bad habits, getting into stealing, even smoking, drinking, etc., right? There's a good chance of someone going astray when there is no shelter, when there is no training by the parents or training by loved ones, right? Someone who's already qualified to train, if there is no training, if they don't go to any good school, any good teachers who are teaching them morality as well, right? Then obviously there's a good chance of children getting astray. And we see that there is no moral education currently in our schools. The education is only how to work in the factories and eat. That's the education that is being given. And therefore we find even after a long education, there is no character, right? There's no character development. And people are just there, the children will pick up on habits like stealing, cheating, lying, etc., very easily, because there's no focus on character building. So here Varna Shankar is talking about there won't be any the population won't have any character, right? It'll be unwanted, literally like a burden on the mother earth. Right? And that's what we see currently also, right? That there are so many, like you find that so many activities are happening across the globe, wherein you might find people, they are so aggressive unnecessarily, and they're and this world, this age of Kali Yuga is actually an age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So of course it was meant to be in one sense that such a population is there, because we are someone who actually not passed in the first attempt. तो सतयुग में पास नहीं हुए, त्रेता युग में चले गए, वहां भी पास नहीं हुए, फिर वो 80 केटी चलता जाता है ना, राइट? एंड द्वापर में भी कुछ नहीं हुआ हमारा, and we are the gone cases in Kali Yuga. Like that. So that's what we see Varna Shankara in today's day and age. And the last reason he gave was indecision, right? He could not decide what is right, what is wrong. He's saying things like, I don't know whether to be killed by them is better or to kill them is better, right? And he's saying, if I kill them, I should not, stay alive. So that was his confusion, what to do, right? So can you relate to that? Do we not also, come at, and not to this extent, of course, maybe not to killing someone, but we also find ourselves a lot of times at a junction where we cannot decide to go left or right? What to do, right? So these were some of the, arguments which Arjuna gave to Krishna for not fighting. And the entire Bhagavad Gita is nothing but Krishna's reply to all these different 5 points. Right?